during this process, did you get into any altercations like with other dealers, for instance, or were there people attempting to rob you?
No.
Or no one knew what you were up to at the time?
No, because I'd already gone through all that sort of trouble side of things when I was in Bristol. Before I got arrested the first time, I was a bit more wise to all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So when we processed it out, we'd repress it, put a bit of cut in it, all the rest of it, so we'd bulk it up a little bit more. I basically had 2 people that I would just take the whole lot to and go, there you are, you deal with that. People I trusted with my life, literally. I'd just drop it all on them, they would sell it, come back a month later and pick up the money. That was it. So we kept it very...
So you weren't directly dealing and
handling? No, we narrowed it right down to a very small number of people. We obviously keep the number of people small, less people knew what we were doing, less people to talk. And it worked well. Yeah. It meant that the British police struggled to build a case against us. And I think the surveillance operation against us went on for about 2 years. And, we were well aware of it. But being arrogant at that time, and being, I suppose to some extent, greedy, but also... in the back of my mind was, I thought, well, they obviously know about us, so I'm pretty well fucked, so I might as well carry on, until it happens. And that very nearly happened in Edinburgh when they hit a lab up there.
Was you up there in the lab?
Yeah, I'd been in the lab, and we'd seen the police undercover unit at the back of the building. And the 2 Colombians in the apartment had called me and said, look, we think we're under surveillance. And I said, well, yeah, we definitely are. So I've gone in there, I've spotted the surveillance have spotted me looking at them. So I've actually gone down, got in the van, followed the surveillance unit around Edinburgh.
You're following them?
Yeah. I blocked them into the car park and then let them out, made it very apparent that I knew that they were police. Followed them through Edinburgh for about 10 or 15 minutes and then tailed off. Went back to the apartment, which is in the Leith area of Edinburgh. Very nice apartment, big, ex-merchant's apartment. Parked the van back in the parking space for the flat. Didn't go into the flat this time. Got a taxi to a hotel. So I made it look as though I'd gone into the flat. And I said to the Colombians, I said, look, do you want me to get you out of there? I'll get you out of there. I'll make sure you're safe. Let's leave because it's on top. And they were like, because of the way they think, they were like, no, we're not sure. We think you're being paranoid. We've got the coke out. There's, we don't want to leave.
They wanted to finish their job.
Yeah, they wanted to finish doing what they were doing. So I said, well, look, you carry on. I said, I've offered to get you out of there. Don't blame me if the door comes through. Sure enough, what happens? I go off to the hotel. Next morning, I'm ringing. No answer. The phones are off. I was like, damn, it's happened. So I turn up there, drive back down to the flat to have a look. Everything seems very quiet, surrounding streets are quiet, there's no police. So I think, go in, walk up the stairs, get to the top, top of the stairs, and the doors smashed to pieces, all boarded up. I was like, Jesus. So I've just turned around, ran back downstairs, left the building.
Did you have a lot in the place though, in terms of what was being processed?
I mean, it was just a normal, 3 to 5 keys. Obviously, everything had been seized. So I've just disappeared, basically. Not completely. I actually had to phone the police because a family member of mine was actually living in the flat.
The same flat that they were processing?
Yeah. But I mean, because
they get arrested along with the Colombians.
No, because I mean, they weren't processing that wasn't a continual thing. The Colombians had just come up to use the flat.
Oh, okay.
For like a week to process something, and in that time, I'd moved the family member out. They had no idea of what was going on. Sorry. So I had to phone the police on behalf of this family member and say, look, they're not involved. Just lay off. They had to. That family member went in for questioning. Obviously, I didn't because I didn't want to.
but you giving yourself in that by making that call. Did you identify yourself as who you are? So
yeah. Because I knew.
They knew who you were.
I knew this.
But you also knew that they had to put enough evidence together in order for them to arrest you,
they said, look, can you come in for questioning? I said, no, I'm a bit busy today. Yeah. So then obviously I've disappeared back down to England, and I'm still having phone calls from them. They're saying, look, we need to talk to you. Can you come in for questioning? I said, well, now I'm back in England. I said, I don't know when I'm going to be back in Scotland. And they were like, well,
they must be thinking the nerve of this guy.
Yeah, next time, no. They said, next time you're up, can you please come in and talk to us? I said, well, I will do, but I'm not sure when that's going to be. So, I knew that after about a month that the forensics is going to be coming back, and then they're probably going to come and knock on my door down in England, and there's not going to be much stopping them. So I disappeared. I got smuggled out of Britain in the boot of a Mercedes car by the Turkish mafia.
What?
I got smuggled out of Britain. Everyone's coming in.
How did that come about? So now you're playing hide and seek with the police, and you're back in London. How did the smuggling come about?
So basically, I know it's on top now.
Yeah.
So I just, I had a friend who was involved with the Turkish mafia, Turkish guy. So I phoned him up and I said, look, I need to get out of Britain. Can you smuggle me out? He said, yeah, no problem. I'll come and get you. And so chucked me in the boot of his car. Went through Dover.
How many hours was that?
Oh, no, well, I mean, I just drove down to Dover.
Oh, okay, just to Dover. Okay.
Yeah. And then, the ferry terminal got in the boot or near there. And it's only 45 minutes on the hovercraft. Yeah. So just shot across, got through the customs, got out. And, they sorted me out with the car after a couple of, I think I was there about a week without a car, or 2 weeks.
What, out in France?
Yeah. So
was it like a safe house, or you just?
Well, our family have had a place out there for years, so I just went down to there, and obviously I kept it very quiet. Didn't tell anyone that I was leaving.
Oh, okay.
I dropped all my telephones, all our electronic communication I left behind, all my bank accounts I emptied. Just anything electronic was dropped, and it was a bit different then. It was. I mean, it's not as prevalent as it is today. There wasn't so much. Facebook and WhatsApp didn't exist.
Yeah, this was only 2000, right?
This was 2000. Would have been 2005.
2005, yeah.
Early part of 2005.